Hi everyone, welcome back to another scrapbook layout video and thank you for joining me again today. So today I am doing a double page layout and I am using the pumpkin spice line again by Doodlebug. I am going to cut down some different papers here, and I had filmed part of me picking out the papers, but I decided not to leave that in because this video is already, fairly long. So I'm following a sketch by Scrapbook Generation again, and I'm just trimming the papers down to the sizes that I need. And of course, there is going to be some striped strips on there. And the first strips I cut down were orange. There was 4 of them. I cut to 1/4 inch wide each. And then these strips are 1/4 inch wide, the striped ones, but they're trimmed down. You will see how they will fit in the photos. I was also contemplating cutting down one of these border strips to use in another spot on the layout, but it calls for a certain size. And normally I don't feel like with sketches, you guys probably know that you have to do it exactly the size that they say, but the way that everything fits together with this sketch, it would kind of be hard to fit the photos in. I want to say it was a 3/4 inch size or 1/2 inch size that it wanted. And I was thinking the ones that I wanted to use, these are pictures of my kids raking leaves at my in-laws' house, and the photos were certain sizes, so they fit the way they're going to fit into the sketch really matters. So you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll point it out here in just a moment. So I'm going to I recently kind of redid a couple things in my scrap room, and I found a couple adhesive pieces like this little tiny scrappy tape roll, and so I have those sitting behind my desk to try to use those up. And that orange strip, looks really crooked. Yeah, I think I'm going to figure out here that it's a little bit crooked, so I'm going to fix that. But look how tiny amount is left on that roll of scrappy tape. So I pulled a few things out and they're sitting on the back of my desk. And there is part of this video at the end where my camera got moved. I think when I was moving things around, so the bottom of the layout's cut off just a tiny bit, and I will fix that, just so you know. So here's where I kind of, when I was referring to the size of that one strip, because I have a 4x6 photo on the end there and then a 3x4 photo. So the strips that are going along in between here, and there's also more photos that are going to go along in between here, but this is where that one border strip that I was trying to use would have had to go, and it wouldn't be the right size. Although I guess I could have overlapped the photos or somehow, but either way, the mushrooms, I wanted to use the one with the mushrooms because I really think the mushrooms in this collection are super cute. And so I wanted to use that one, but if I would have covered it up with the photos, either way, the mushrooms would have been covered up and it wouldn't have worked. Um, but this other one works really well. I wanted something that wasn't going to clash too much with the other strips as well. And I'm happy with what I chose. So uh, you can see that these all were the ones that I cut down to size at the beginning. So I'm just adding my photos here. I want to say I changed the size of a couple of the photos somewhere. I don't remember. And I think I add a photo up to the right-hand side where the sketch doesn't have a photo. But I had one extra photo and I couldn't decide. There was 3 smaller photos that go on this sketch. I could not decide. And you guys know me. I'd like to scrapbook a lot of photos, even if it's almost the same photo. So I'm okay with that. I think if you have one photo that you want to scrap of an event that tells you every memory you have and want to say about that time and that event, and you like single pages, go right on ahead. And if you are somebody who likes to take 50 photos of the one thing and you can't narrow it down and your photos look like it's the exact same photo, I actually did that with a layout not long ago where I used 2 photos that were different, but they looked like they were the exact same photo. And I had a lot of people comment, did I use the same photo? no, even though it looks the same, I still liked both the photos. So use what makes you happy. That's why we scrapbook, is to, for you to make yourself happy, to enjoy the process. Don't stress about the rules. If it is the same photo that you love that photo so much and you want to use 5 of the same photo on a layout, go for it. I'm all fine with that. But um so anyways, my whole point to that was I had 3 photos left to choose from and I just couldn't narrow it down. I don't know. There was different things. I don't have a lot of fall photos, and so it was fun for me to have these photos. My father-in-law had just had surgery, so he couldn't clean up their leaves. So one of the days we went over there and the boys had a ton of fun because in our yard currently, we don't get as many leaves. When we replant one of our trees or a few of our trees, we will get more leaves, but then they'll be older. But anyways, that's not important. But they poured these leaves on top of each other and jumped into them, and they just were great photos. So I chose to add that 3rd photo just because. And I did pre-cut those photos. I believe they're up above. So I lined everything up. You saw me there. That's all put together now. This layout is very photo heavy. I love that. I'm totally fine with that. I did ink all my edges with my brown close to my heart ink. I feel like that ink works really well, obviously with this collection. It's a fall collection. I do only use, I get questions about my ink sometimes, so I do mostly only use black, gray, or brown. Just makes it a little easier to, in my opinion. I think colored inks look great, but just like this example here, there's so many colors, which one would I use? So I am going to go ahead and mount or mat these photos that I'm adding. So that one up there on the right is one. You can't even really see his face, but it's part of the fun they were having. That's why I decided to keep it. So I'm just looking through because I want to mount each one with different pattern paper since all the colors are represented basically on this layout. I was trying to use either my 6x6 or some scraps. I think I find a scrap here in just a moment, but the ones that I have chosen now are tone on tone, and so I didn't want like a busy, crazy background one with, when the other 2 were just tone on tone. I was trying to keep it all in that same kind of tone on tone colored ones. I hope that makes any sense. So um, I'm going to decide. I also even looked at this little square. The problem too was I liked the yellow, but I wasn't finding a yellow one that the color really matched. I know it's the same color, but just like the tone of it. It was more the designs, not the color. The color is the same because Doodlebug uses the same color. It was more just the tone of it, and the design changes the tone. If you have a real tone on tone layout, you're going to have different, it's going to be a little bit different colored, but I'm kind of rambling now. But I did find a scrap in those folders. I keep my petite prints. I did a little video about those folders if you are interested. It is a What Is It Wednesday video, and I have them in different spots in my room. I keep my scraps in them, and I keep my sorry, I got interrupted there. I keep my scraps in them, I keep my petite prints in them, and I keep my specialty paper in them. And it just makes those things easy to find. So if I need a smaller scrap, I can just grab. And then I can keep my petite print scraps in with my petite prints. So before I cut into a 12 by 12, I can check out what I have. So I did think about using that squirrel card and just trimming down one of the photos. You saw me trying that one out a few minutes ago, but I thought, I'm not, I have more petite prints than I do the squirrel cards. And you guys know I'm head over heels over those animals. So, yeah, I just went ahead and the petite prints worked out really great. Now I'm trying to stack these. I was contemplating whether or not I wanted them to overlap the second page. She has it that way on the sketch, but I wanted to make sure it either barely overlapped or overlapped enough to where when I cut it, it was enough to be on the second page. So it wouldn't just be this tiny little piece that kept falling off. So I ended up changing. Mine are just, she does have 2 photos there and they're both at angles, but my angles are just a little different because of the way I moved the one over just a little bit more so that it would have, like I said, enough on the second page to really help it stay on there. So I'm going to add this one up here. Now, just like my other layouts, I think part of my problem, I'm going to work on my title. And part of the problem I think that I'm finding with my titles is, first of all, I have all those titles that I bought in the, the words and phrases ephemera pieces, and none of them really said Raking Leaves or anything like that, and very generic title. That's what I wanted my title to be. Well, I've been trying to pull out my letter stickers. You're going to see this in quite a few videos coming up, and I think I'm actually going to pull some to the side that have like half an alphabet left. And that's going to be my goal. One of my goals for 2021 is to use up those ones that I pulled to the side before going straight to my dies. You guys know I love my dies, but yeah, I really like these. The title I used here was from an older Bella Boulevard. Their collections used to come with the alphabet sticker sheet with them. I don't know if they still do, but I want to say I don't think they do. So I had those and not very many. Amazingly, I still had enough E's and all the letters I needed to make the word Raking Leaves. So I went for it. I'm like, I'm going to do this because the problem was those don't stick out very much. So I actually took the time and added foam adhesive underneath all of those skinny letters. And it took a little while, but it's worth it. So, and I did also give a little bit of inking to the edges of those letters to help them stand out just a little bit more. So I'm quite happy with how it turned out. The last thing I'm going to do, which you won't see me do on camera to the alphabet, is I do add glossy accents. I was thinking it would really help those stand out. Now, looking at the layout now, I could go either way with the glossy accents. I like it, but if it wasn't there, it would have been just fine too. So just playing around. I have a few things just not completely stuck down, but partially stuck down right now. That bear isn't completely stuck down yet. And look, I stamped my date. I have to say, when I was doing the title, I stamped my date, and I did it because those letters are popped up, and amazingly I tried to get it on that orange strip and it worked. It was like I almost celebrated after I pulled that stamp up and saw that it was all perfect line, it's stamped well, so that was pretty cool. So in case you noticed that, I did add the date stamp under that. I'm going to also play around a little bit here. This is going to take me just a minute. One of these leaves, some of the leaves in this collection look like they're falling from the side. And so I'm going to take one of these sprinkle shapes where the leaf is falling from the side and put it in the letter G, the bottom of the G. And what I'm trying to do is take just a little piece of foam tape and add it so that part of the sprinkle goes above the G and then down below the G. So there's a little bit of foam adhesive to help hold it up above, just to give it a little bit of like a dimension or a flow to it. And I really like that part. I think it looks really cute. So now I've pretty much got some clusters around. I'm going to go ahead. You can see I've added my journaling too. I went ahead and added my journaling strips because I knew that they were going to take up some room. So before I built my clusters, I wanted to know where my journaling was going to go. So I added that raccoon. Oh, he's so adorable. Love the raccoon. Added mushrooms around in all the clusters again. Mushrooms, whatever. I think that they look really cute, whether they really go. I mean, the teddy bear doesn't even really go with this page if you think about it, but I guess he's not really a teddy bear either. Another thing I'm doing here is I'm taking some of these sprinkles and I'm going over the leaves of that plant up there that the bird is sitting on. And I'm also going to add a few of these little tiny enamel sprinkles that I believe they are representing oak apples. They're circles with faces and they've got little, they're not just like enamel dots. If you look in the collection, there seems to be some circle elements and I believe they're oak apples, and I really like that they did that. The mushrooms, the oak apples, there's just different aspects in this collection that not all fall collections have, and I think that's really cool. So anyways, just adding some around, just playing around and using up some of this stuff because I really like it, and I'm super happy with the way this page turned out. I love the fact that I've had some fall pictures to scrap lately, and I've been having a lot of fun. So there's going to be a few more fall layouts coming. The last thing I'm going to do is add some word stickers around. So you're going to see, I'm going to kind of play around. You can, the only thing I think that I wish Doodlebug would do more of, you know, is kind of change the sheet. I've mentioned that before, but I would love to have more word stickers. But you can see that sticker sheet. I've used up half of them. I didn't want to use the word raking leaves because that was already in the title. But I really wanted to add that little something extra. And so I'm looking through, this is a book, one of those sticker books you can find like at Hobby Lobby and things. I think I got this at Hobby Lobby, by the way. And it is fall, it's the seasons ones. So I'm looking because I know it has a fall section. So I was hoping that there would be some word stickers, and there was a few, you can see kind of a few there, but they weren't really small skinny strips, and some of them were see-through and wouldn't work very well. So what I started to remember was that I have this 6x6 sheet, and since it shrunk down from the regular 12x12 border sheet, it has a bunch of different words on it. So I'm going to take some of these strips and I'm going to trim them out and turn them into word strips. So like they say, thankful over and over, thankful for you. They say pumpkin spice. So I'm just taking a few of them, trimming them down, and then you're going to see I'm going to trim them down even more and kind of make my own word stickers out of them. So I don't remember what this one says. Something about fall, something about leaves. I don't have the layout right in front of me. I need to be better about that. It'd probably be better if I did have the layout right in front of me a little more often. But I think I'm even going to use the one that says pumpkin spice, just because this is that time of year for pumpkin spice, and I liked the color. I was trying to bring in different colors of word phrases. So this one says happy fall, I believe. This one I'm actually going to take and I'm going to put it in the middle. So in this little cluster by the R of raking leaves, I'm going to add that happy fall. But what I'm going to do is it's going to end up going on both the left and right page. And since it's doing that, I'm going to make sure that I cut the word in between the two words so that I don't cut up a word, if that makes any sense. I hope you guys understand. You'll see what I mean in just a minute. And if you don't see me doing it on the layout, you will see it in the still shot photos at the end. But I believe that's what I'm going to do right here. And again, this is where my layout is kind of down a little further than it usually is. So don't worry, I will fix my camera. There might be one more layout that I do where it's kind of down further than normal, but I was trying to move my camera a little bit so my head wouldn't be in the camera as much, but if I move it even slightly, it's too far one way or it's too far another way. I think it's my camera holder is just very hard to get in the right spot. But I get it figured out. So yep, just adding. Now these two this word phrase, these go together over here on the left-hand side. I don't really think I should have put these up here like I did because it does draw a lot of attention to this part of the layout and not so much the rest. I mean, your eyes kind of go to this bright green color. Looking at this, I probably should have added something bright green somewhere else on the other side, very right-hand side of the page, and then that would have helped because there's also that bright green leaf. But I didn't think about it at the time until I was even doing this video, and I'm okay with that. It might draw some attention, but I'm okay. I'm happy with the end layout. There's the glossy accents on that alphabet if you wanted to check that out. And I think that that is the rest of the layout. So thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and I hope you are all having a great day. See you next time. Bye.